Supreme Court has agreed to hear arguments over whether Donald Trump can claim presidential immunity in his criminal election interference case. The hearing is set for late April. Jan Crawford is following this from Washington for us. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning. So obviously former President Trump is facing 4 different criminal prosecutions. And here the Supreme Court is going to hear arguments challenging the special counsel's election interference case. But that ruling could affect Trump's other cases and have a lasting impact on presidential power.
You have to have a guaranteed immunity for a president. Otherwise, a president's not going to be able to function.
Former President Trump is now taking that claim from the campaign trail to the highest court in the country. In 8 weeks, the Supreme Court will hear landmark arguments to decide whether, and if so, to what extent, does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office.
He is urging the Supreme Court to adopt and embrace immunity on a scope that the court has never before upheld.
Trump faces 4 felony charges, including obstruction and conspiracy, for allegedly interfering with the 2020 election.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Special counsel Jack Smith says Trump used the January 6 attack on the Capitol to hold onto power. But Trump denies that and says because he was president at the time, he's immune from prosecution. Lower courts have already denied the former president's claim twice, with the D.C. Federal Appeals Court flatly rejecting a dramatic hypothetical last month.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first.
The Supreme Court hearing will be Trump's final shot at dismissing the case and could delay his trial indefinitely.
The district court proceedings are basically going to be put on hold. They'll be held in suspended animation, awaiting a decision from the Supreme Court.
Now, a decision is expected by the beginning of July. That's a lot quicker, timeline-wise, than most cases the court hears, but it still will call into question whether there's going to be enough time for a trial in the election interference case before that November election. Anne-Marie?
So this is an argument that the president has, sort of been attempting to use for a variety of different cases. How could a Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity impact the federal cases against the former president?
Well, I mean, as you saw in the question that the court's going to consider, it's one the Supreme Court has never before taken up. This has never come before the Supreme Court. And this goes to the question of, does the president have immunity for things that are considered official acts? So the president's arguing that all the stuff around January 6th, that's an official act, and so he can't be prosecuted. So it could come into play in some of these other cases where he can make an argument that he was doing this as an official act because he was president. But I think the thing to really emphasize here is just the extraordinary nature of this case and the potential for a real landmark ruling on presidential power, something that the court really had to decide. I mean, the Supreme Court, it's close to the election, and this case was brought close to the election and not, 30 months ago or 15 months ago. But this is the kind of case that the court, as the highest court in the land, really felt that it had to decide this important issue of law.
And as you know, over the past several years, many of our institutions have been sort of caught in the crosshairs of a lot of these political debates. The Supreme Court, no exception here. We have several Supreme Court justices who were appointed by Donald Trump. Is there a concern that this case could raise, more questions about whether or not this is an apolitical body, whether or not the court can be trusted?
Oh, absolutely, because already you're seeing people take shots left and right at the Supreme Court, most of them totally uninformed, that, this court's got their finger on the scale for Trump. That's why they took the case up. That's the speculation you're hearing. I mean, that's ridiculous. The court had to take this case up. They've got another case involving whether Trump can be kicked off the ballot. That comes out of Colorado. I think that Trump is going to win that case, that the court's going to say states cannot just disqualify presidential candidates from the ballot. I think that's probably going to be unanimous or close to it. Trump's going to lose this case. And I think that could be unanimous or close to it. So, you've got to look at what the court is doing and the arguments they're making. And I think people need to tune out the noise of some of the political chatter. And that definitely influences public opinion.
So true. Jan, thank you very much.